Welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show. My name is Doug McCain. Thanks for rocking with us after a wild game between the Dodgers and the White Sox, the wildest Dodgers game of the year. A back-and-forth affair. The White Sox were up 4 at one point. The Dodgers were up 5 at one point. The story, though, is Max Muncy. It was maximum vengeance, maximum carnage from Muncy after Tony La Russa. He elects to walk Trey Turner, to intentionally walk Trey Turner on a 1-2 count to give Max Muncy runners on first and second, and he hits it out of the park. You see him cussing on the way back, saying that's effing disrespectful, saying effing bitch, all this stuff. I can't really say all this stuff on this show, but I'm going to actually do a breakdown of that because it was so wild. But seeing Max Muncy give a La Russa the L there, it was fantastic. I want all your thoughts on Max Muncy. Is Max Muncy back? Because look, you saw Muncy has the goatee now, and in the goatee era, he's 2-5. I'm wiping away his statistics prior to today's game. I'm forgetting about it. To me, when you count his stats, you talk about this game moving forward, and you just unleashed the beast, Tony La Russa. You poked the bear. You woke Max Muncy up. And on the anniversary of the Go Get It Out of the Ocean Day, you have this hit right here, this home run against the Chicago White Sox that blew things up. Let's not forget about his 2-run doubles. I have a lot of thoughts on Tony La Russa, a lot of thoughts on Max Muncy. Freddie Freeman had a nice game. He had been slumping of late, and he had a really nice game. You had Gavin Lux have his first 4-hit game of his career. And then, of course, Tyler Anderson, as I like to call him, Tyler, the outs creator. He was due for an off day, a clunker, and he did have his best up. Was struggling with some arm side command, but we're going to talk about everything because this was a lot to get into, a lot to unpack here after the Dodgers 11-9 win over the White Sox. But here we go. This game broke my sobriety. That's from Norman. Here, you got to jump to the comments. I want all your takes on Tony La Russa, because I'm going to give you my thoughts in just a second here. But the Tony La Russa move right there, I'm telling you, man, I think that, look, Tony La Russa, you're drunk, man. Get this guy an Uber, take his keys. You make that move, especially in a 2-run game, to get to Max Muncy, a guy that had some, even in the first at-bat, that he struck out, a very competitive at-bat there, and the way he managed Cease, Cease's arm I thought was going to fall off. The way he managed him, I think he's going to cease to exist at some point in his career, but you saw what Max Muncy was able to do today. This Dodger team, they come back, and it was just it was pretty spectacular. Of course, Tyler Anderson, his scoreless inning streak that ends at 28 1/3 innings. But we're going to get to everything. I'm just going to get my comments here, guys. Just 1 second, and we'll break down all the action. We got LOL cease to exist. Hey, man, hey. Cease to exist, and I think that Max Muncy, after that disrespect that he got from Tony La Russa, he needs to give him a cease and desist order, because that was just some disrespect there, and to make him pay the way he did, it was maximum carnage. He made him pay, and that is what a cleanup hitter does. That's why, if you guys have been watching this show, what have I been telling you? Do not give up on Max Muncy. Don't sell your Max Muncy stock, because he's vital to this lineup, because then you have Will Smith batting in the 5-hole, and then you have the platooning from Mookie to Freddie to Trey to Max to Will Smith, and then you have the most potent and explosive 1 through 5 in all of Major League Baseball. You know, I call it the Blue World Order, the BWO. But here we go. TLR has to go back to his retirement home. I like that one from Ryan. Yeah, geriatric La Russa. I just don't understand the move right there. And you look at, yes, he was wild. That one ball in that count was a wild pitch. But LOL, we got Jonathan Moon. I chuckled when I saw Price warming up Jonathan Moon. Yeah, that was a little terrifying, wasn't it? Don Kim, was today's hitting by Maxwell Muncy something, nothing, or everything? You can ask that question, Don. Like I said, this is your show. I'm just hosting it, right? I'm the man of the fan. And let's go off Don questions here. Was Max Muncy's performance today something, nothing, or everything? Because I was told that his 600-foot blast in minor league was nothing. I was told that he struck out multiple times in that game, that he failed with the bases loaded, and Dodger fans were very pessimistic about that home run. But no, you saw early in this game the at-bats that he had, and you saw just what he was able to do, and he was just so impressive. And I thought Max Muncy, he comes in here, and he made a maximum statement. I think that he has really showed this team that he is back. And this is a guy that he's been in the depths of hell in the baseball world. We got everything from Deborah Young. We got he's fired up for Maddie. Mad Max is back. Yeah, look, we got to thank Tony La Russa. Hey, Tony La Russa, you can get my Manager of the Year award vote if this is the spark. If this is the turnaround for Max Muncy, because you made Max mad, and he punked belonged to you. The L in Russa was given to you by Max Muncy, and he did it today. He's staring. That gave me chills. When he was staring down that White Sox dugout, and he's saying, don't effing disrespect me on a 1-2 count effing biatch. I'm not going to, there's a family show. I got some kids who watch this. I'm not going to, I don't want my grandma to wash my mouth out with soap after this one. But, yeah, he was letting him have it. And that's what Max Muncy brings. He brings a different level of fire and tenacity. This is not a guy like a Mookie Betts or a Trey Turner or some of these other guys that really, they made it to the bigs. They've been perennial all-stars. No, he has hit rock bottom in his career. He knows what it's like to be out of Major League Baseball, and he turned himself into an all-star. So that's why I knew that Max is going to persevere. There's no question about it because of his work ethic, because of his grit and his grind-level mentality. But here we go. Common L. Russa. Common Russa L. That's from Sam Grandal. Max Muncy flexing on Russa. That's from Nando 590. Who pitched for the Dodgers today that gave up a lot of runs? Yeah, we're going to dive into that. Tyler Anderson did not have his best start. He had his scoreless innings streak snapped at 28 1/3 innings. And really the issue with Tyler Anderson was the command. Heading into today, in over 55 innings of work, he had just 6 walks all season. He had the lowest walk-to-strikeout ratio in Major League Baseball, but 3 walks in 3 innings today. He just didn't have that same command. You saw him missing today in his outing, and you even saw on some of the hits he gave up, the 4-seam fastball to Mednick in the first. It's like a fastball that they wanted inside. He leaves that over the plate. You saw the walk to Abreu. 8th pitch, he misses with the fastball. So he was missing with that fastball, arm side high, arm side away. Max is everything from Deborah Young. Anderson was shaky today, but we came back, and that was nice to see. We got Soon Kim. It's time for the Giant Killer to move on and show that he is back. Also, nice to see Freddie get some hits. Yeah, that was another big takeaway that will probably get buried in this one because of how this game unfolded, but Freddie Freeman had a big day. He goes 3 for 5, and more importantly, too, you saw some slug. You saw that double off Cease, his 21st double in the season. That's 3rd in all of Major League Baseball behind Matt Olson and Rafael Devers. So to see him pick those power numbers up heading into today, he had 1 home run in his last 160 at-bats. So to see him pick those power numbers up, that's going to be massive for the Dodgers. And just his approach, he's a guy, I've seen a lot of Dodger fans out there saying he needs a day off. No, if you know anything about Freddie Freeman, this guy loves to play. This guy likes to be in the lineup. He likes to have a routine, and that's why you kind of figured that wouldn't be the case. But here, let me get my comment section popping right here. But yeah, the story is Max Muncy. I just love it. Oh gosh, it gave me chills, man. It gives me goosebumps. Matt, don't make Mad Max. We don't make Max mad. We know that at this point in his career. You got under his skin. You disrespected him by walking Trey Turner. Yes, you had the lefty-lefty matchup. We understand that. But when you talk about a guy like Max Muncy, a guy that is going to take that personally, it was like the Michael Jordan meme from The Last Dance, and I took that personally. And Max Muncy is a guy that a chip on his shoulder is good for someone like Muncy, because Muncy's a guy that he feeds off that. It fuels him. He doesn't get offended. It doesn't affect his game in a negative way. He gets offended, and it fuels him. It's not like he presses. It locks him in on an extra level. So I think for Tony La Russa to make that move, especially in a 2-run game there. I thought that was an absolute joke. And also, just look at Max Muncy. That's a thing, too. That's why Tony La Russa, like I said, I think, the AARP La Russa, AARP La Russa. D-Mac, we need to make no disrespect shit with Max Muncy, Isaac Lopez, Johansson. We'll DM me on that. We'll work on that. I like that. We've got to get some new T ideas. I like that. But, yeah, AARP La Russa. Is he a guy that doesn't know anything about analytics? If you look at Max Muncy's career, he's had success against left-handed pitching. An 857 OPS versus southpaws. 34, now 35 home runs in his career. So it's not like a guy that is a platoon player, anything like that. So, yeah, Tony La Russa, you got owned. You're supposed to be the savior for the Chicago White Sox, and you have failed, just like Joe Maddon failed with the Angels. And I think that had more to do with the organization not providing depth. But still, look, you have to look at the numbers sometimes. You have to evolve. Who's the general manager of the A's again? Was it Brad Pitt? My bad. Brad Pitt. What does he say? Adapt or die. Okay, and Brad Pitt, who I think is probably been one of the best GMs in the history of Major League Baseball. He says adapt or die. And if you're Tony La Russa, that's a situation where, hey, you didn't adapt and you died in this game because the White Sox, they take the L. The Dodgers win by a score of 11-9. LA, they get 6 in the 5th, 4 in the 6th, 1 in the 9th, that big insurance run. And that's another nice positive sign is another insurance run late in the game. We saw Trey Turner get that home run last night in the 9th that helped the Dodgers, and we saw some more insurance runs late. You never have enough runs, but we need Mad Max. That's from Norman Rowe. Maybe La Russa was having nightmares of 88 and not just thinking. I like that. It's a great one. Let me give you a Let's Go Dodgers. Yeah, he's got the flashbacks. We know La Russa was in that dugout when Gibby went out there and he hit that bomb, so I like that, man. The Dodgers have really been a thorn in his backside for a lot of his career, but can we hold down the reset button and get Mookie and Freddie synced up? I like that one. That's from Dolly Queen 99. Yeah, I think when it comes to, look, I mean, Mookie Betts definitely fallen to a little slump here. There's one hit this series, and look, this team, they go as Mookie goes. Dodgers 24-7 when he scores a run. So it's definitely vital that he gets that production, because when he's scoring runs, it means he's getting on base, which usually means he's tallying hits. So it's definitely important, but I think that today, this lineup, this is the lineup that we've expected to see. This is the lineup that where the heart of the warrant. A cleanup hitter, what does a cleanup hitter do? He cleans up the bases. And I think with Max Muncy, what he did today, he showed that slug that this team has been missing. You saw the big double. We haven't even talked about his big double that really got the Dodgers going there in the 6th inning earlier in the game. In the 5th inning, I'm sorry, earlier in the game. We're going to talk about that as well. So, yeah, let's go jump. Here, I finally got my comments, actually, guys. Now we're rolling. Here we go. Mookie actually made a good contact his last 2 at-bats today. Ryan Moore. Yeah, the predictive stats on Mookie are still fine. And also, you got to talk about that play that he made where he covered all that ground late in the game with Vesia there in the 8th inning to kind of get the Dodgers out of that. So that's the thing about Mookie Betts. He's always impacting the game one way or the other. And you saw that that catch he made on the Mendick fly ball there. And Mookie Betts, he's another guy that he covers more ground than a Roomba in a mansion. And he's a guy that he's always going to make big plays defensively. So that was also big as well. So I'm not worried about Mookie. But let's focus on Max Muncy. Start breaking down this game. Our bullpen is sus right now. It's from Boomer Assassin. Yeah, you saw Daniel Hudson was able to come through there, but it was stressful, especially when you show clips of David Price, BPDP, out there in the bullpen. And you saw David Price, if he was going to come in a high-leverage situation, I was definitely – yeah, exactly. That's my point right there. Mookie saved us with the glove. Yeah, we just talked about it. I mean, he makes it look so easy that you don't even realize how great some of his catches are. But, yeah, I think when you talk about Daniel Hudson, the bottom of the 9th, he gives up the leadoff single to Vaughn, Roberts single. So that gave back-to-back hits for the White Sox to start off the 9th inning. And then he gets Abreu swinging on the 7th pitch with a nice slider. And then he walks Moncada. And this guy, I mean, he was throwing tons of pitches. I mean, he was working. I mean, look, we know Craig Kimbrell was on paternity leave, but Daniel Hudson is the one that was laboring out there. But he found a way to dial it in, to get locked in. And then, unfortunately, he throws that wild pitch that allowed the White Sox to score a run. That made it 11-8, and then Pollock, he reached on that infield single that made it 11-9. But then Yasmani passed ball, a.k.a. Yasmani Grandal. He fouled to third for the second out, and then he gets the big punch-out. So that's kind of the theme with Daniel Hudson this year, is striking out batters to end the game. And that's what you want out of a closer, a guy that can miss bats, because you don't want to get that ball in play. You want to miss bats, and that's such a premium. And he got the slider at the bottom of the zone to end things. But here we go. We gave the Sox half their runs today. Yeah, and vice versa there. I mean, and vice versa there. I mean, you talk about the error by Berger in the 5th inning. They really got things going for the Dodgers, and we're going to talk about that. But here we go. Give Price credit. Hudson saw him warming up, and it motivated him to close it out. I got to give you a finish him. Bernie Mraz. Giants aren't looking good this year. Yeah, the Giants, the San Francisco Giants, they're still mad about Game 5 of the NLDS when the Dodgers, they won the only postseason meeting between the two in their house, on their field, with the Max Scherzer save. They're still crying about the check swing call, but hey, life is rough if you know what I mean. A little payback there. But here we go. Mookie had 2 consecutive at-bats where he put the game out of reach with a hit running where he could have put the game out of reach. Yeah, I mean, look, it happens. I mean, looking good, Muncy, that's why you have a stacked lineup, because you want guys to step up. This is baseball, right? You have your ups and downs. It's just about keeping those slumps as minimal as possible. And I thank you, Tony LaDummy. Go Dodgers from Ernesto Molina. Yeah, any Tony La Russa burns, you're going to get the fire sound. You're going to get the Mortal Kombat finish him sound. If you say something weird but funny, you'll get the bruh. Neither team played clean ball today. That's from Norman Rowe. Gratterall has been looking sus too. That's from Jonathan Moon. Yeah, I mean, look, this bullpen is thin right now when it comes to high leverage guys. And right now when it comes to Bruised Dog Gratterall, he's a guy that, look, I want Bruised Dog to be Bruised Star, but he needs to have the feel for a secondary pitch, whether it be a slider, whether it be a cutter, because look, the velo on that fastball, that's the one that makes TikToks. It makes Rob Friedman's pitching ninja. But velo is overrated when it comes to velo versus command, because you have to have a way to harness it. Look, it reminds me when I heard everyone talk about Jamarcus Russell. Jamarcus Russell, he's a guy, the quarterback from LSU on the Raiders. He can throw 70 yards on his knees. That's all everyone talked about with Jamarcus Russell. He ended up being one of the biggest busts ever. So it's not always about that. It's about the command. What I always say, if you want to be the man, you have to have the command. And Bruised Dog Gratterall, he did find a way to get out of the inning. You're talking about the 4th inning there. We'll talk about that in just a second, but we'll do some more rapid-fire comments, and we'll start breaking this game down and keep giving it to Tony La Russa. La Russa just got owned today, and I cannot wait to listen to Chicago radio, because did you guys hear the guy? There's 2 strikes. What are you doing, Tony? There was a guy in the crowd just yelling at him, ribbing him there, and that's what you love to see. And I just think today, I feel so good for Max Muncy. I feel happy for Max Muncy, because you've seen the frustration on his face after he committed the error against the Nationals where he booted one, cost the Dodgers the game. He had tears in his eyes, man. And for him to come back and have a big game like this and really kind of springboard the rest of his season, I'm just so excited for the guy. What I always say about Max Muncy, he's a guy from Texas, and to me, he's the barbecue on the Dodgers ribs. He's the Texas barbecue on the Dodgers ribs, because look, ribs are good, but if you got that fire barbecue sauce, it just takes them to a whole nother level. I think that's what Max Muncy does. He is the guy that really has that slug. He's their most prodigious and prolific thumper that they have. Since he joined the team in 2018, no one's hit more home runs than Muncy, okay? So he's a guy they're going to rely upon to go yard, and that is what this team needs to do. All this talk about small ball and this and that and close games and extra innings. No, I'd rather win games by multiple runs and slug, okay? Like what I always say, if you want the dub, you've got to slug, and Max Muncy, he helps them tremendously in that department. Helps to score 11 runs. That's from our Sonic Axio. By the way, if you're new to the channel and knows the afternoon, a little matinee Dodgers Nation post-game show, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you really want to support the channel, smash that like button. And thanks to you guys, we have more shows this year. We're doing more shows than we ever did. That's because you guys have helped grow this show. Remember, this is your show. I'm just hosting it. A little collaborative effort. Get your reaction, get your perspective on your boys in blue. And you're not gonna be muzzled like in radio or TV, where they're not gonna give you the real rough, rugged, and raw takes, the real fan perspective. You get it all from here. And even I disagree with your takes, I'm still gonna read them, because to me, that's the kind of stuff I'm interested in. But FH, did Chicago just wake up a sleeping giant? I think that's a great way to put it. And like I said, they made Max mad. And I think Tony La Russa, give him Manager of the Year. He poked the bear. And I'm never going to forget this one. Giants lose to Rockies. You love to see it. Thanks for that pound for pound. The Giants lose. Don Matson, Giants lose 4-2. Giants will still be tough. Mike Wargo, Craig Osterberg. I like all the Giants updates, because when they lose, Dodgers win. It's a great day in Dodger land. And hopefully the Padres as well. Gary A. Kimbrel trade looking like a bad move. Gary A. Look, I disagree with you on that one. I think Pollock, he's had some better games, but when you consider the fact that there's no certainty that Blake Treinen is going to be back again this year. Same thing with Tommy Kahnle. We don't know how Dustin May is going to perform. How well is he going to pitch coming off that Tommy John surgery when they try him out in the bullpen, or maybe as an opener, maybe as a multi-inning guy? How will Danny Duffy look? I mean, we know that Yency Almonte. We know that Evan Phillips. And when Evan Phillips is in the game, usually the other team is screwed. But and Yency Almonte, he has been money. Yency Al money. But those guys, they might be due for some regression. So a guy like Craig Kimbrell, who is starting to find the feel for that curveball, you're starting to see the velo continue to trend in the right direction. I think he's a guy that the Dodgers are going to trust in that closer's role. And I think Daniel Hudson's a guy that he has pitched a lot of innings for this Dodgers team, a guy they've really leaned on in those high leverage spots as a closer at times. And I think he's a guy, too, that has been overworked to an extent. The same thing with Bruce Dog Gratterall. So to me, I think that A.J. Pollock's a really nice player if he gets it going, and he can be even 80 or 90% of the player he was last year. He can definitely be a above average left-handed bat, a guy that could match right-handed bat that can match left-handed pitching, but I still think that Kimbrell provides more value to the Dodgers than Pollock would this year. But Kimbrell trade, we got Alex Renteria. Happy that we play SF this weekend. Max can continue to get his bat healthy. Yeah, I mean, you guys know what my theory. I think they should really change the name of McCovey Cove to McMuncy Cove, because we know that Max Muncy owns the Giants, and you see the success that he's having out there. And I'm pretty sure that Madison Bumgarner, with the emphasis on bum, is out there right now in a kayak still looking for that ball and getting out of the ocean. We got Anthony Keene, my man. What up? Yo, D-Mag, happy Thursday, my dude. Your guy, Fredericks of Hollywood, had a much better game today. Looked much better at the plate. You saw Freddie Freeman staying behind the ball more, seeing the ball better, putting better swings on pitches. We saw some slug today with that big double. But here we go. Credit to Roberts for not trying to go toe-to-toe with Russa. Wait a minute. Hold the presses. Stop the show. Stop the show. Damian just gave Dave Roberts credit. This could be a first on the Dodgers Nation postgame show. Do I have a siren? We have a Dodger fan that gave Dave Roberts credit. Now, I'm just messing with it, Damian. But, yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, sometimes you see managers in certain situations, they want to try to play this chess match, when in the reality, sometimes the best moves are the ones that you don't make, right? And you stand pat. So I think that's a great point you made there. We got Gratterall, Bigford, and Vesia all regressed this year. That's from Neil Kasimoto. Yeah, I mean, that is the nature of bullpen pieces. That's why they're so volatile, and that's why you don't see Andrew Friedman desperate for making moves for bullpen pieces that are under team control for so many years. Because a lot of bullpen pieces, they're guys that have tons of years of arbitration on them, and you don't want to give up big key prospects for a guy that's going to be good one year and not so good the next, because, yeah, there is regression when it comes to bullpen pieces. And yeah, I think when it comes to Alex Vesia, for him it's about that arm side command. You saw him missing. He starts the 8th inning and throws 8 consecutive balls. That's hard to do. I don't think I could do that if I tried. I mean, I would probably at least get 1 strike in there if you gave me 8 tries. But, I mean, probably want him to get hit for a tank. But, I mean, no, I'm just playing. But give him credit, though. I mean, give him credit after. I mean, that looked like it was a near meltdown from Alex Vesia in the 8th inning coming in that situation. But if you look at his strikeout percentage, if you look at his strikeout rate, his K percentage, it has been impressive this year. And I do think that he's a guy that you still want in the mix. And remember, he's a guy that got off to a slow start at the beginning of last season, struggled throughout May. They sent him down to AAA, works out some mechanical things. They kind of changed his, little tweaks to the shape and his pitch profile and things like that. And they really found it, and he was excellent for the remainder of the season. So Vesia in the second half, he's a guy that you want to keep in there. So don't mess you with Vesia. I'm sticking with him. But, yeah, if you look at that 8th inning, he struggled. So up 5, they got into some trouble. Those 8 straight balls, he walks Abreu on 4 pitches, walks Berger on 4 pitches. And look, I thought that at that point that maybe Berger made him well done, and that was it. And Vesia was going to be cooked after that. But with runners on first and second, Grandal, he reaches on that infield single to the pitcher, and then Abreu and Berger scored on that throwing error by Vesia. That made it 10-7 Dodgers. So now you're starting to feel like, okay, the meltdown is on. But then Vesia, he takes a deep breath, he settles down, and he gets Harrison swinging. He strikes him out, and then he gets Mendick to line to right to get out of the inning. So I think the fact that he was, and then also he got Engel swinging too. So he gets 2 strikeouts there, and then he gets the line out. So he was able to get out of that inning, giving up just 2 runs, but it could have been much worse. But here we go. Tony doing the non-analytical managing. That's from Arsenic. Hell of a win today. Welcome back. Max, Deborah Young. Doesn't matter how bad the Giants are playing. when we roll into town. Yeah, you can throw out the records. Absolutely, Deborah. That's a fantastic point because that's a serious rivalry. I mean, you got the orange and black. You got the pumpkins versus the beautiful color, like Jaime Harin says, blue, the color of the infinite. That's why it's so awesome. So you got Dodger blue versus the pumpkin, orange and black. But why wasn't Yency Almonte used to? No, it's Yency Almonte. No, I was playing, but I know he pitched yesterday, but wasn't hit pitch count, his pitch count low. I mean, look, same thing with you talk about Evan Phillips, a guy he threw. My bad. You talk about Evan Phillips. He was a guy that he threw only 10 pitches, and he was also unavailable. So, yeah, I mean, look, this bullpen was heavily taxed. I mean, they went 7 1/3 innings in that Mets series, and a lot of that was because of that short outing by Walker Buehler that happened to be the shortest outing of his professional career at the big league level, where he just threw 2 1/3 innings. So this bullpen's still trying to catch up and refresh themselves. And you, okay, Jacob, you got me dead there. Kimbrel texted Hudson to push. I like that, Jacob. Here we go. Andrew, no idea why Vesia threw that to try to get Grandal SMH. Andrew Phillips, I agree with you on that one. He's on his knees and almost looked like, he had no chance. It was a desperate heave, and it's not like he was going to be out even if he was on the money on that throw. So that, to me, is kind of a maturity thing for Alex Vesia. Still a very young player, and you just want to try to make a play out of desperation. You kind of see the game starting to unravel, so you want to do whatever you can to try to get that out. But, yeah, I'm agreeing with you. I did not think that was a good move to try to even make that throw in the first place. Thanks again, Dodgers, for the minor heart attack. Bleed blue, baby. That's from Needle before Zoda21. I laughed when LaRussa walked Turner on a 1-2 count, knowing that something good was going to happen, and it did. So you just had the premonition. You knew it was going to happen. But we got shout out to Ric Flair. Woo! Pound for pound, Vesia was wild. Did Chicago just wake up a sleeping giant? How long will until LaRussa gets the axe? I mean, look, that's kind of been a theme around Major League Baseball. Girardi, you got Joe Madden. I mean, you never know. But you also know that. There's a pretty good chance that I would say that he stays on there. But Joe Madden, LaRussa made Dave look smart from Mark Wargo. We got Daniel Lawrence over on YouTube says, Max Muncy, that funky Muncy. Max Muncy, chunky, that funky Muncy. Nice, yeah. Return of the Max once again. Return of the Max. No, it's goatee Max. Yes, he just had to give himself a goatee to remember that he's the GOAT, okay? Sometimes you just need to switch things up. But is Max Muncy back? Sup, Doug? Sup, Isaac? Too nice. No idea why Vesia threw that to Grandal. Barbecue is good. That's from Ray Castillo. Need to let Ferguson show what he can do. Yeah, he's a guy that they're still trying to work back. The velo's solid. The command isn't quite there yet. But if we're going to win the World Series, we need one more pitcher. Yeah, I'm actually dropping a 10 pitchers the Dodgers could trade for, 10 starters. I think we'll drop it this weekend. Been working on that over the last week, so be on the lookout for that over on our YouTube channel. Sending D-Mac some love. I'm based at. Hey, right back at you, man. All the love in the world. After the Dodgers get the dub, right? Peek. Only 3 words to describe today's series win for the Dodgers. Muncy is back. Peek. So yes or no? Will Muncy? How about this? For the rest of the season, is he gonna let's do a couple words here for the rest of Muncy's season. Is the rest of his season gonna be bad, average, good, or great? You got 4 options: bad, average, good, or great. How will the rest of Max Muncy's season pan out? And forget his statistics prior to today. Those are out of the window. We're throwing those out of the window. Max Muncy's stats prior to today's games, you can just forget about it. Because, look, Max Muncy was dealing with some elbow issues. By the way, you got Jace Peterson to thank for that and the UCL. But, look, the toughness of Muncy is what allowed him to even stay in that game, to stay in the lineup. But we're going to forget about his stats where he's hitting 150 with a 591 OPS. No, we're going to focus on Max Muncy's new numbers. Has an OPS, almost 2,000. So OPS at over 2,000, goes 2 for 5. He's hitting 400. So that's the Max Muncy stats that I'm calculating from here on out. I used to hate Hudson when he was on the Nats, but I see him now as one of the more reliable relievers. He was taxed today. I don't know. Yeah, like I said, Kimbrel is the guy on paternity leave, but Daniel Hudson was the one laboring. You saw it in his face. You saw the fatigue, but he still was able to reach down and pump 97, 98 when he needed it. And also, you get the big punch out to end the game. And that's kind of been his calling card of the season. We saw that in his save against the Diamondbacks as well. But we got to talk about, so start breaking down this game, but keep coming with those fire takes, guys. Let's do a rapid round of the takes, and we'll start breaking down. Bro, this bot, Muncy. Oh, I like that. Yes, I feel that. Yensai Almontes from Jaime Lannister. There you go. You got a U win, too. Correct, D-Mac. Muncy leads MLB in walks, too. And, yeah, you guys know I call him Max Muncy because of how well he sees the ball. And that's why he's such a unique player, because most sluggers, they're free swingers, right? They're guys that you want to, they'll be able to go yard and run into 25, 30 home runs a year, but Max Muncy has the play discipline to go along with that. And I think when you consider that it's almost a gift and the curse with him, because sometimes you want to see him take more risks and swing at more pitches inside the zone. And if you look at some of his numbers when it comes to his swing at pitches in the zone, I mean, that number is down 10%. I mean, it's down 10% from last season. So I think that that's something that you have to consider too. Is Max Muncy being a little more aggressive at the plate while still maintaining his play discipline and getting those calls and finding a way to get on base, because he's a very unique player. I'm telling you, he's an all-star for a reason. Look, his baseball card has his numbers on there, and Max Muncy has no reason to keep his head down. I appreciate the fact that he had tears in his eyes, but hey, look in the mirror, dog. You are Max Muncy, okay? You are Mad Max, okay? And you're an all-star player. You're a guy who's hit a walk-off in the World Series, in the longest World Series game in the history of Major League Baseball. By the way, if you guys want to just have a little fun here, you guys remember Game 3 of the World Series? How long, without looking it up, how long do you think that game was? Because it was actually longer than the 1939 World Series, believe it or not. By the way, we got the second. We're going part 2 of the Dodgers Stadium secret, so be on the lookout for that. But back in the comments section, we got Dodgers earn theirs. Joe Bennett Giants game just went final. Giants win. Okay, let's jump back here. We got Hudson, Vesia, and Anderson all got roughed up. Yeah, I think when it comes to when talk about Tyler Anderson's start, yeah, the difference with him is just not having the feel for the changeup, feel for the four seam, not having the same command. I mean, that was kind of the issue there. I think that was kind of the issue with him. And look, yeah, like he's a guy that he's been so solid for this team, really has carried this rotation with Kershaw being out and Urias and Buehler not pitching like their normal frontline selves. But I think when you consider the fact that yeah, I mean, he was kind of due for a little bit of a regression game. But here we go. Giants fall behind 6.5 games. We got my man Doug. When are you going to block this? Just don't mention him, guys. Don't respond to him. It's the funniest thing, man. He's actually helping the show because it helps us with sponsorship and get money. So really, what he's doing, he's using his life up by putting money in our pockets. Man, can you talk about? Someone from the ATL would take an ATL just like that. So keep helping the show. You're putting money in all of our pockets, but no, we'll block them for the next time. Working with my server guy for that, but it's all good in the hood. But can you imagine that, man? You have nothing better to do in life than put money in our pockets. But 18 innings. But how long was the game lengthwise? 9 hours, close. Max Kuhn, what up, D-Mac? Insane fact. Gavin Lux, second best batting average on the Dodgers team. We got 6 hours, close. 18 innings, 8 hours from VTX, top 14. It's actually, John, another guess. 4 hours and 14 minutes. Blue Magic, 5.5 hours. Norman Rowe, 4.5 hours. It was actually 7 hours and 20 minutes. That game was a mother effer. Oh, yeah, we were at that game, remember, Mr. Magazzini? Nothing like wasting your allowance on us. Yeah, exactly. You're wasting all your lemonade money that you're out getting on us, man. I appreciate it, though. Braves fan works for us. He does work for us, Blue Magic, and he's helping us. And, man, it's unfortunate. But Braves fan in Dodgers pockets. Yeah, we're going to use that money, and we're going to pay Freddie Freeman with it, okay? Because we know you're still crying. You're still butthurt about that. But exactly, Alex ran through it. But, yeah, let's dive into this game, some of this breakdown. So bottom of the third inning. So that's where Tyler Anderson got into some trouble. So Harrison, he tripled. By the way, how wacky was that? Harrison tripled to right on a ball that looked like it was doing parkour. I mean, you see that ball, it goes all the way down the foul line, goes all the way up the fence. Mookie catches it, throws it in, but but it goes as a triple. That had like a little mind of its own. We got Mendick grounded to second, scoring Harrison to make it 1-0 White Sox. Then Vo, he grounded to second for the second out, and then Roberts, he grounded to third for the third out. But they did score. After that Mednick ground out to score Harrison to make it 1-0 White Sox. So Tyler Anderson, his scoreless streak ends at 28 in the third. And then we jump to the bottom of the fourth inning. So a leadoff walk to Abreu, had a down the hole 1-2. Then he missed low and away, missing arm side with a fastball, like I said, missing glove side with that cutter. He was just a little erratic today. And then Berger, he singled to left. He left a changeup out over the heart of the plate. And then on a 2-2 count, Pollock hit a ground rule double that scored Abreu to make it 2-0 White Sox. And then he walked Grandal, missing arm side with the changeup again, high with the four seam, and that was it for Tyler. I always stutter when I say his name because of his delivery. Anderson. Then in comes Brusdar Graterol. First pitch, he hits Engel with the first pitch to make it 3-0 White Sox. And then Harrison, he hit safely to right to score Pollock to make it 4-0. And then he settles down to get Mendick to pop to the pitcher. And then Vaughn lines out to center. So they get 3 runs. They had 4 runs on those 2 hits. And like we're saying, Brusdar Graterol just proven not to be a high leverage guy. Pollock has sucked all year, and then he rakes against us. Yeah, I know, right? That's how it would be. And then we got Max Kuhn. No matter what the haters say, Dodgers will win the World Series in 2022. Damian, I think if they bring up Lamb, the only person they can replace is Hanser. Damian, yeah, I mean, Rake Lamb has been raking at the minor league level. He already has the ability to option out, so we'll see what they do with him. And, of course, Kevin Pillar undergoing that surgery out for the season. But what kind of rook goes into another team and makes you two? Why was the pitching? Yeah, I mean, honestly, I talked to his mom yesterday, and his mom said that she's going to spank him really hard, and he's going to be grounded for the whole summer. So I don't know how he got out of there. But we got Crazy Game, the Chicago. Exactly. Then we got Angelo blaming the Chicago White Sox. Yeah, you can thank Russa for that. And then top of the 5th inning. So top of the 5th. So Justin Turner, he strikes out looking. Then on a 3-2 count, Belly, he singles to left on a 98-mile-per-hour fastball. Middle. Nice piece of hitting by Belly. So nice to see him getting going as well. Had that home run yesterday. And then next batter, Gavin Lux, on a full count, takes a slider low and inside for ball 4 to give LA runners on first and second with 1 out. So a lot of kudos, a lot of props to Mr. Gavin Lux. The flux capacitor, he was doing things today. You saw the speed. He's in the 93rd percentile when it comes to sprint speed. You saw the play discipline. You saw the hits. And he reached his 5 times today, and he records his first 4-hit game of his career. So credit to Gavin Lux. Kind of an unsung hero. Kind of gets buried in a lot of the ongoings of today's game. But Jaime LaRusso will put Pollock back on the shelf after this series. Peek a peek. Rick, talk about why Anderson was off. Yeah, I mean, he kind of mentioned it. Just lack of command. I mean, he's a guy that he doesn't walk many batters. I mean, I said earlier that he had walked 6 batters in 55 1/3 innings heading into this start, and in this one outing, he has 3 walks in 3 innings. So you saw it was just a lack of command for today. I'm sure he's going to talk about not having the feel for his changeup like he's had all season, which has been one of the most lethal pitches in Major League Baseball. He's a guy that a lot of his success, I mean, if you look at his velocity, he sits between 89 and 93. He's topped out at 94 this year, but he's a guy that it's about throwing it to the different quadrants, staying low in the lower quadrants of the zone, getting soft contact, getting punch-outs when he needs them, speeding up hitters, slowing down hitters with the off-speed stuff, and working that fastball by him. But, yeah, when he's missing with his changeup, with his fastball, it makes things difficult, and also the cutter and the slider today. So he just didn't have it today. And look, I mean, batters can have an off day. Mookie Betts had an off series. So can pitchers, okay? So it's not the end of the world. But here we go. Belly struck out in a 3-0 count. That was horrible. Yeah, I mean, that's who Bellinger is, man. I mean, you guys have to accept Bellinger for who he is. He's a guy that he's a streaky hitter. He's a hitter that sometimes he lacks discipline at the plate. Sometimes his swings are a little too big. You want to see him shorten up his stroke a little bit, and that's just kind of who he is. He's a guy that wants to hit home runs, and unfortunately, that's just kind of the hitter that he's become. But you've also seen some positive stuff from Cody Bellinger as well. But like today, one of his hits, that was on 98 mile per hour. This hit on a 98 mile per hour fastball, middle of the zone. So catching with a 98 mile per hour heater, that's definitely positive. Yesterday, he had a cutter kind of leaked in the middle of the plate that he drove. So we can't afford Anderson to fall off, Gary. That's a great point. That's a great point because where would this Dodger team be if it weren't for the early season success of Tony Gonsolin and Tyler Anderson? Two pitchers that weren't expected to be the frontline guys of this rotation. No one saw that coming. They were pitchers that were supposed to piggyback off each other, but instead they've been putting the team on their back all season long. So yeah, we got D-Mac. Got to sweep the Giants, put them out of their misery pound for pound. Let's do it, man. We're Giant killers last year. We were Giants killers last year. We broke the Giants in that NLDS. You know their fans are still mad about. You know they're still upset about the fact the Dodgers spoiled their 107-win season. So, yeah, Lux keeps peek a peep. Lux keeps bringing his trade value up. And, yeah, we got F Braves, Strasburg pitching today for the Nationals. Here we go. So, top of the fifth. So, Gavin Lux, he takes that slider. He draws the walk. That gives L.A. runners on first and second with one out. And then Austin Barnes, he grounded into a fielder's choice to third. Lux was safe at second on the fielding error by Berger. So it wasn't well done by Berger. And the Dodgers, they relished in the opportunity to put up some runs. That Berger was a bad move for them, and that's where you talk about slumming these unearned runs today. So Belly, he advanced to third on the play, and then with the sacks juice, Mookie Betts, he strikes out swinging for the second out, and then Mookie, he's just not seeing the slider well in this series, especially today, and that brings up Freddie Freeman with 2 outs and the bases loaded, and on an 0-1 count, he doubles to score Bellinger and Lux, giving the Dodgers their first runs of the game to make it 4-2 White Sox. And we're talking about a two-out double. So 2 outs, big clutch hitting there by Freddie Fredericks of Hollywood, Freddie franchise. Acuna Jr. coming to L.A. We'll take him gladly. And then after that, with runners on the corners, Trey Turner, he gets that infield single to third, and that scored Barnes to make it 4-3 Sox. The Dodgers, they're closing in on that lead of the White Sox, cut it to 1 after that Trey Turner infield single. And that's a big part of Trey Turner's game. Look, last year, 70 infield singles. He won the batting title, so that's what he does, man. He is just lightning on the base pass. But then after that, then Trey Turner, he steals second, and then on a 2-1 pitch, Max Muncy doubled to deep center to score Freddie Freeman. And then following that, Will Smith, he draws a walk, then Justin Turner walks, and then Max Muncy scored on a wild pitch by Foster to make it 6-4 Dodgers. The Dodgers bat around. They took a 6-4 lead in the fifth. They get 6 runs on 4 hits. And a lot of that was thanks to that costly Berger error. So 6 unearned runs with 2 outs, 6 unearned runs. That's crazy. Here we go. We got to LOL, Braves fans, eat Dodger dogs. Yeah. Then top of the 6th inning, Lux reached on that infield single to first. Then Barnes, he flied to right. By the way, a lot of this lineup turnover, a lot of that had to do with Gavin Lux. So a lot of Max Muncy's success, it was the Lux and Max show on the bottom of the lineup, in the middle of the heart of the order, too. So got to give Lux a lot of credit. And Barnes, he flied to right for the first out. Then Mookie Betts, he grounds to third. Lux advanced to second. And then 2 outs. First pitch to Freddie Freeman. He bangs the single to left. And he gets to second on a wild pitch by Souza, and that gives the Dodgers runners on first and second. Then on a 1-2 count to Trey Turner, Tony La Russa elects to intentionally walk Trey Turner to get to Max Muncy, and Max Muncy made him pay, and oh boy did he ever. On a 2-2 pitch, Muncy unloads on a slider on the outer half for an opposite field blast to make it 10-7 Dodgers. Stares at that White Sox dugout. Max Muncy just owned Tony La Russa, and it was a sight to see, man. And that's going to be something that we're going to look back at the end of the season after Max Muncy has a solid year for the rest of the way. If he does, we're going to say, hey, Max Muncy, his season got going thanks to Tony La Russa with a capital L. But here we go, block and report. If Roberts doesn't have Phillips, here we go. Let me see here. Guys, guess what? I just blocked the user. Braves fan has been blocked. I just got told by my producer. Because, look, I was going to put I thought, maybe if I put him on timeout, he can be a good boy or a good little boy, but no, he got blocked, man. He's blocked. He's gone, man. R.I.P. What team out there has a bad contract on their books that we could trade David Price to, like when we trade Agon for Matt Kemp? Price is just taking up a spot on the roster. Rafael, look, if you want to be completely honest, he's not going to be on the team for very much longer. And I think there's a possibility with Kershaw being back against the Giants series, he could be a casualty. And is he a DFA candidate? He absolutely is. Could he be a number 4, number 5 starter on a team around the league? I definitely think that he's still capable of doing that. That's still a role that he could definitely step into for another team, but he just doesn't have a role on this team. Like I said, David Price, it's like not going to happen for him coming out of that bullpen. He just doesn't have a clearly defined role in this team, and I think that at some point you're going to see him gone. And could they trade for him? Yes, they could. You're not going to get much value out of him. I mean, you're just not. I mean, that's just the reality of the situation when it comes to David Price. And I think that the Dodgers will still, no matter what, eat the majority of the $16 million they owe him this year. Of course, Red Sox, the Dodgers, they're paying him a combined $32 million for this season, but don't feel bad about it because David Price equals Mookie Betts. He was the Mookie tax, so that's just how it is. Alex ran through, yeah. Yeah, Russa was using analytics. He was looking at a sheet saying, oh, Max Muncy has a 164 batting average, so maybe this is a good idea. Little does he know that that was a maximum L for him. But think about it, Price to the Nats. But, yeah, pretty much got this whole game down here. Go, yeah, you've been blocked. Something that Yasmani Grandal didn't do very well. Send Price to the Angels. Yeah. What do you guys think the Angels need to do to get out of their funk? I mean, come on now. Because I think a lot of these Angel fans, I mean, their ticket price, what are their ticket prices at this point? I mean, they got to be plummeted. I mean, at this point, I think Angel fans are going to want their nickel back for their tickets that they bought to these Angels games. The Anaheim Pangels, the Anna Slime Pangels. I mean, it's just terrible. Dodgers need to eat the Price contract and stop using him unless they're up a 10 spot. Yeah, he's a mop-up guy. He's BPDP. Trade Trout, Mike Trout, great. Explaining. Angels have to fire Moreno if that can happen. Yeah, he kind of looks like Al to me. Remember Al? Anyone old enough for that? Angels should just tell Trout and Ohtani. But yep, guys, that is going to do it. Kind of an emergency show today, just kind of considering how crazy that game was. But hey, we're going to be back with you guys for at least 2 of the games for the Giants series, because that's going to be a game where hopefully the Dodgers, they just keep their foot on the pedal, they go for the throat of the Giants, and they send a major statement that you guys are 1-year wonders. So I'm hoping that that is the case. But thanks for rocking with us, guys. A couple more comments here and we'll head out of here, but thanks for rocking with us. Be sure to mash that like button. Look out for YouTube. We're going to drop a breakdown on the Muncy versus the Russa. Also, part 2 of the Dodger Stadium Secrets. That's coming soon. We got trades, a video coming out for starting pitchers and bullpen pieces, so be on the lookout for that on the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Getting close to 50K subscribers, and it's thanks to you guys, so give yourself all the credit in the world. But a couple more comments here, and I'll let you guys enjoy the rest of your day. EB, what's up, Doug? What do you think of everyone now kissing the Catman's butt? I always had confidence in him for being young. I mean, that's just the nature of fans in general. I mean, when you're performing well, they treat you, it's the penthouse to the outhouse theory, right? When you're performing well, you're going to get all the props, all the accolades, all the, they're going to be clapping for you, giving you standing ovations. And then when you don't perform well, they're going to act like they didn't know you. So that's kind of how it is. But you can feel good about the fact that it's more satisfying for you knowing that you always had the Catman's back. So, look, I mean, I think with Tony Gonsolin, it's great to see. I do think that I've been referencing for the last few weeks. If you look at his BABIP and some of his, I mean, the hard contact is still low. The FIP and the ERA is still close enough together. I don't anticipate too much regression, but look, don't be surprised if he has an off start, kind of like Tyler Anderson. It won't be the end of the world. Look, it's very rare to have, unless you're 65 Sandy Koufax or 63 Sandy Koufax or one of these pitchers. 2014 Kershaw. Even then, I mean, there's you're gonna have an off day. So it happens in Major League Baseball. But here we go. Thanks for rocking with us, guys. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. The Dodgers get the dub, a crazy win. The Dodgers down 4. They come back. Then they were up 5, and they almost blew it. Max Muncy, he owned Tony La Russa. It was a great game up in Chicago, and the Dodgers, they get the win. But enjoy the rest of your day. We'll be back with you during the Giants series. Like I said, be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
It's time for Dodger Baseball.